never owned by anybody. We talked to the county and asked about getting a deed from the county on it. And the county said, well, we don't own it either. They said this Washburn Townsite company did. There is the slight discrepancy because Dave said the Washburn Townsite company isn't the city of Washburn. The county says this is where you're supposed to get it from. So unfortunately, it's just a discrepancy. What we're asking for, a quitclaim deed from the city to us for this little triangle piece. It just says whatever the city may own, you're selling to us, giving to us. I didn't discuss a price in my little note. If you want something, that could be up for discussion too. It's right next to Fifth Avenue, right along the street, and then it's the Methodist Parsonage property on the other side. Actually, it's an unplatted alley over here,
right.
But it's next to the Methodist church.
What is it, like 20 feet by something, or
it is
5 by 32 by 20 maybe? Or something?
right, 25 by 32 by 20. Yeah, it's a triangle.
Do you own just that one lot, or do you have more?
Oh, no, we still own 4 here.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it is a possibility it'll be built on at some point. So that's why I'm trying to clear it up now.
Absolutely.
That's just an explanation. So that down the road, if there's a mortgage on it, this won't create a problem.
Anybody have any questions? I will make a motion that we deed this over to the Hill Twits for $1. Get everything straightened out and back on the hole.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Pete?
Aye.
Wait. I said aye. I say aye. You nodded, say yes.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Vivian?
Yes, I'm here just to make you aware of a number of things at the Green
Okay.
Old Courthouse. As the Historical Society, we are concerned, that the exhibits inside remain safe.
Right.
There are a number of things about that building that bother me a little bit, and I just want you to be aware of them.
Okay.
Maybe you have to do something about budgeting. I understand that's a city building,
I understand that, yes.
and we are not responsible for keeping it up. But I just made a list of things, and I think everybody sees as they go by, the paint is peeling badly again. I'm not sure how soon we want to have that looking all spiffed up. But in the Green Building upstairs, there's a room that used to be called the prisoner's room before we got in the courthouse, and we've used it as a children's area with buggies and dolls and etc. And the ceiling is coming down. Cement or plastered ceiling.
That's been that way for a while, hasn't it?
It's been for a while, but during the winter we didn't go in there and check it out. I sent my helpers over one day. I said, check everything out. Do the lights work? And this, that. And they came back. The ceiling's coming down. Now it hasn't come down any more than it did that first time.
Good.
And Mrs. Reisenauer has been real good about cleaning it up, but we had to move things out just in case more comes down. Upstairs, there are a couple of window glass that has been broken. Some of it's been taped up before, but I found 2 new window panes that are cracked upstairs. And I put some tape on. It's a temporary fix.
So there's just 2 total, or there's more than just 2?
I just saw 2, and that's about a week or 2 ago. Some of the windows have been covered with plywood upstairs on the back side, and that plywood has come away from the window enough so that birds are coming in and making nests next to the glass. We've had trouble with the print shop, which is the old fire hall, for quite some time, and work was done there with the Legion paying for most of it, I think. And it's still getting good rain, and we have puddles of water. It runs to the edge of the roof, which is pretty flat, I guess, runs down, and because the paint is making little cups there, the water stays and then soaks in through the walls. And there's the old bathroom. It's really interesting. You go in there and see where the cement has come off the walls, and every so often there is a piece of rotted wood. So evidently they used logs in with the cement when they built that. And so that's just letting water come in. And what that's doing, of course, is causing rust in all that machinery in there. And we bring in the fan on a sunny day and try to, you know, do it up. Outside, as I walked around the building, there is a tree very close to the wall by the green building.
Which side?
You know where there's an entry that goes downstairs?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Right behind that, there is a tree that's growing.
Next to the old Superior Center.
Against the white building, and of course, if the wind blows, that hits the windows. And I'm concerned that maybe the roots are going to be encroaching into the basement and breaking that up. There's also a pile of some long logs that were used for, I think, flower garden edge at one time, and a pile of brick, red brick, also along that basement, which I think all these things should be removed. Now, I don't know who's going to do it, but I'm going to throw it at you.
This was brought up last year already, wasn't it?
Pardon?
Last year or year before, this is all the same stuff that's been,
Nothing's been done.
exactly.
Now, I don't know, what your budget is, but is it possible that you can do something to alleviate some of those problems? So, oh, and then one more thing, and my husband keeps getting after me. The painting of Lewis and Clark and the Chiefs that's on the other wall on Keith Dew's building, part of the sign has been ripped off, evidently by the wind, and is missing. Now, I'm not sure what it's supposed to say up there. Does anybody have any ideas where we can find out what was on there? Does the city, you suppose, or the leader or somebody have a picture that says what the printing was? I know farther down it mentions that the Historical Society was involved in getting that up there. So we're willing to help get it back, but I don't know what it said. So these are just a few of the things that, that concern me, and I'm just throwing them at you to see what you can do to help.
Can you get that list to Joan, and then we can get our guys to come and look at it?
You have my list if you wish it.
Okay, and I kind of wrote it down here, but my handwriting stinks.
Oh, I don't need a copy.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I don't need a copy. We just try to keep the exhibits inside in good condition, and
Right.
if the lights don't work, we usually call an electrician or something. But in the past, when we have done some things, like working on the log cabin or doing something at the school, and then I have been told afterwards, well, that's park board or so-and-so, that's really not your concern. But it is, as far as keeping the exhibits in good shape.
Right.
We need to have the building in good shape.
Well, it has to be intact, absolutely.
Pardon?
It has to be intact.
Sooner or
So,
later.
Yeah. I remember when, quite a few years ago, we cleaned all that out of the basement. That was a big project, because it was all rotten.
We're not concerned much about the basement, except I'm thinking what tree roots can do, growing right next to the basement. They could wreck the foundation there.
Well, I will volunteer to go with the guys and look it over and, see what we
Okay,
can't
great.
do.
I know
right
it costs
away.
money, but the Historical Society is able to help with some of that cost. We do have some funds that we can spend, and the money comes from the county anyway.
Okay.
But we would like somebody to address those things.
Right. Well, it should be. I mean,
Please,
it's a
and
city-owned
thank you.
building, so we should address it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Gary?
On the corner of Woodgate and Rough Rider runs north and south. And the city has a drainage ditch there. And over the years, I've bitched before and complained. But the water, that's the outlet of the culvert. And you can see that the ditch is filled just about as high as the culvert. This is another picture of the outlet. This is after the heavy rain we had this spring or here a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
And nobody had come by and cleaned out the outlet or nothing. So it backed up in along my property that much. And if you don't do anything, it eventually kills the grass. Because it just lays in there, because the water has come down and backwashed on my side also and filled in there about 8 inches now. So it's 8 inches higher in front of the culvert and the rest of the ditch back, so that lays in. I finally dug out a little trail to get it out of
I
my.
saw somebody did that. and I
Well, I didn't want my grass to die any more than it was.
Appreciate that.
Have you looked at this over the past couple days?
Well, I-
Shirley Nelson, didn't Kim go down and clean that out? And Shirley
I
did
believe
last
yes.
week? Yeah.
I dug it out and put it on the side of the road because I didn't want to throw it in the ditch.
Okay, and then Kim went and picked it up?
The
and cleaned
other
it
day,
there?
yes.
Yes.
But there's some more pictures of, right now,
But are you saying it needs to be more dug out of there? Is what?
well, right now, after a rain, and it don't matter, there'll be water at the north, or the south end of the culvert, the drainage, the outlet end. Right now, the water is laying in there 12 inches deep.
There's a hole there.
It's not a hole there, it's filled up in the culvert 12 inches. Don't tell me there's a hole there.
No.
My
I
side,
see what you're saying.
the other side is 8 inches deep because the culvert drains.
Oh, I see.
The ditch has filled up at least a foot in there. And I have mentioned before that I wish somebody would take care of and clean that ditch out, take the sod out, lower it back down and put the sod back in, and it would alleviate the problem. We have the same problem in the spring of the year when we have a heavy rain, you know that. So I think with the onslaught of mosquito season right now and the water lays in there for 2 weeks at a time, I think something should be done. And that's all I've got, you guys.
Well, I know years ago, we had dug those out, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, long time ago.
They've dug out the end of the culvert. Well, that doesn't do no good because the culvert ditch is still filled in. So you got a hole at the end of the culvert that far, that's got setting water in it too.
Right,
So it's gotta be,
Right.
and if you do anything, I hope you slope it so we can mow it decent again.
Yeah, and well, the problem is, it's a very shallow ditch. The culvert's not big enough to handle anything. That's
Well,
one of the problems. That's why it backs up. But it also backs up because it needs to be opened up. But,
both,
it can only take so much.
both sides gotta be cleaned out, the
Yeah.
silt's gotta be cleaned out. If I wouldn't open it up on my side, that little drainage ditch, the water would lay in there for 2 weeks at a time, and then you end up with dead grass. Shirley's side and our side, we try to keep it looking as nice as possible. So I would hope that,
We'll get something done for that.
even if it would be a matter of just getting a sod cutter, cutting out the sod, and taking a loader and scooping it out and hauling it away and lay the sod back in. Seems like,
Wasn't that more of an issue that the culvert's plugged?
no, it's the outlet of, the ditch has filled in from silt over the last several years for about 30 feet there. It's about a foot higher than what the bottom of the culvert is
Oh, okay.
on the outlet side. So it's not that it, I think the culvert is pretty much clean, so whatever you can do, I'd appreciate it.
What's that little side street?
Rough Rider and Woodgate.
Woodgate, there you go.
I had to look at the signs too, I just live over there.
Yeah,
So, it's,
we'll see what we can do there.
It should, I think, eventually it's gonna be where the water will not drain out of there at all, because it's just, and just to shovel out the end, the water has to force itself up over, and that ain't helping matters.
No, I know. It's not the best design. There's too much water for the tiny little area that has to go through. But
Whatever.
we'll get it dug out.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Make sure you do both sides of it, both.
Oh, absolutely.
Front end and.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
back into the north ditch there, so that
Absolutely.
drains out too. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Special liquor license request for Mac Place. Looks to me like,
This is for Riverboat Days. I'll make a motion to approve his special liquor license request.
I'll second that. Looks like it's the same thing he has every year. Any discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Special liquor license for Captain's Cabin.
Same request, oh, that's for, I make a motion to approve the special liquor license request for Captain's Cabin.
That's for Friday, right?
Yep.
Anybody second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, appointment of election officers for August 25th special election and set wages.
We have to have 3 election officials.
Okay.
And these 3 people have very graciously agreed to serve for us. The
Okay.
county wages are $12 an hour. So,
Works for me. I will move that we appoint Val, Elaine, and Terry as the special election officials and set their wage at $12 per hour.
I'll second
Any other discussion? Keith?
Aye.
that. Aye.
Aye. Tree removal, Meadow Drive. Is that you?
We went up and looked at that. I mean, that was brought up at that last meeting, I guess, and I didn't catch on to that, and I apologize. Over West Sowers land.
West.
And they were supposed to, and what did they add up, 23 trees at that, the first time the boys went up there and looked at it. And I went up there on Friday and looked at it. And there's 9 trees on the south side of that road, on the apartment side.
On the apartment, okay.
And there's a group of 5 and then a group of 4, and Turk and Adam were saying that that's right over the top of a water main that runs through there.
Okay.
So I can understand take them out. On the north side, on the other half there, he's worried about the trees falling over onto his building. Well, all these trees here, there's no way, I don't feel that we need to come out with all these trees in this little grouping.
Okay.
There's one little one right here that is pretty much well dead. The obvious one is this one right here,
Okay.
leaning way over. There's another one that kind of comes up and goes over this way also. There's maybe 3 or 4 right in this little group that I feel that we should take out
Okay.
to cover our insurance, our part of it.
And then there's some on this side.
And then these ones right here, it'll be
next to the
it'll
road.
be this group right in here, this one, and then these back here,
Oh, okay.
all them right there. And they said that's running, there's a water main that's running right in that area.
Right.
So them I can understand, I mean, that's,
Yeah, and basically, well, also it's not so close to the road.
Yeah.
Right? And then,
Yep. As far as these over here, like I said, there's only
okay.
4 at the most that we're gonna take out. I don't see any, who wants to look at them?
Did you see that?
Any reason to take out all them trees.
Okay.
so how many trees total? Because when we bid the project, we had just gone.
Turk, what did we come up with?
Well, I thought we had 9, but I.
9 on that other side,
Right.
and then 4,
3 or 4 on that other side.
Did you mark them all with red paint?
they were gonna go back up and do that.
Oh, because I was there yesterday and I can only find 7 with red paint.
Oh,
But I don't know.
yeah, I just,
Yeah, we went, or Adam and I went up there too, and I just looked and I'm going, well, it does look like there's only 7 of them with red paint, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think there's only 7 we have marked out this time, so.
okay,
I went and, I thought there was 2 more, but.
that's, yeah. I thought there was 9 on the apartment side alone, because there was a group of 5, there was 3 kind of all in one little deal, and then 2, and then that other set had 4 of them in it, so.
So we should, like, tie a ribbon around it or something, or we should go look at them again, because we're not sure what we got
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah, exactly.
Well, and for the bid, the contractors want it specifically.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
and then we have one on Main Street, the other side of that coulee.
2, I think.
Is there 2?
There's 2, right?
Yeah, and it's where we're gonna be putting new sidewalk in an area, and it's pushing the sidewalk up. So we're gonna need to remove 2 of those over there
You
too.
talking that way or this way?
Yeah, that way.
Oh.
Yeah, here's-
Oh,
Yep.
But then you might as well put one on there, is that the,
Is that on
The
her
green
side of the
building, too.
sidewalk or on our side?
It's on our side.
It's on the boulevard.
Right in
Yep,
front of the
boulevard.
fire hydrant.
Oh, oh, I see, oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
and we'll put that tree on there too from the green building, historical place.
All right, well, I think we'll probably need a motion to get away with the 23 tree request for bids. We'll just scrap that, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
Unless we start adding them up here.
Well,
Throughout town.
Well, the thing is, they're gonna be going different areas, it's not gonna be the same bed. you know,
Oh.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we scrap the 23 tree bid project.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Aye.
Aye. So then, you and Brian will get together and decide all the things, and then
Yep.
we'll have to
Redo
redo it, yeah, we'll have to.
Do we need a special meeting for that?
Yeah, are we gonna be
We might
okay
have to.
time-wise as far as when Knife River comes in? Make sure those trees are gone before Knife River comes to town.
I don't think they're gonna be here for a while, are they? Well, it keeps raining.
Yeah, that's true.
For what's that for? Oh, for the sidewalks?
Yeah.
Sidewalks.
You're gonna need to, the bid will need to be placed for at least 2 weeks. The,
Well, we can always have a
request
special
for
meeting on that if we
proposals,
need to.
so.
No.
But, so you and Brian are going to designate which trees and then just go ahead and let me know how many trees so I can put that in the paper.
Sure. You wanna do that right away tomorrow morning, Brian?
Yeah.
We'll just,
Ribbon them or whatever.
yeah. What time you wanna meet?
Do we need to do a motion on that?
I think you can motion for Commissioner Bauer to make a decision as to how many trees will
Commissioner
be
Bauer?
taken. Bauman.
I'm a hell of a lot prettier.
Sorry.
I so moved.
Wow.
Can't move off of mine.
I move that Commissioner Bauman
Thank you.
and Turk will go out and come up with the number of trees that we need, and then we'll put a request for bids out.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Anybody know of any other trees that we need to add to this list?
Good time.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's just it.
There's some trees by Tyler Vetters in front they had cut down when they redid the roads, but I don't believe they removed those stumps from them.
In the boulevard?
Yep.
Anyway, let's vote on this.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So, okay, now we can get back to our figuring out. So we got stumps. Yeah, you realize we just do the stuff in the boulevard, because the rest
Yeah,
we
Yes.
yeah.
don't do, so. Okay. Well, I guess if somebody knows something, they get a hold of Kit,
Yeah.
and, I mean,
That's
obviously we don't want 100
anybody
trees.
too, I mean,
But,
you guys too, if you don't want something in the boulevard or anywhere. you don't
yeah,
want
I
it,
mean, we don't want to have a list of 100 trees, because we can't afford that.
you know.
Okay. Bob? Come on. What?
Will will that be out of the forestry fund, or is the city going to pick up the cost, which we might as well get that out of the way now?
Well, trees are kind of a forest, they, of course, they don't have much money though, do
No,
they?
they do not. They do, a lot of the forestry fund goes towards the different plantings and things that they have in town. And they really, they concentrate on all of the highway plantings, and they do an
Oh, yeah,
excellent
they really
job
do.
maintaining those. But it is costly, so a lot of their funds go towards that, and then the Arbor Day and.
I think this is probably gonna
Yeah.
fall on a city deal, being that nobody planted these trees, that's the bad part. You know,
Yeah,
that's, I don't know, I guess, I don't know, how do we see little trees that are popping up where they shouldn't be, do we start pulling them and getting them out of there to avoid?
well, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem, is nobody ever does it, but, sorry about that, Bob. Sit down, please. Okay, it's no emergency.
I've got problems. I'm Bob Kapfer. I live down at 1208 First Avenue, just down from the city yard on the gravel road, no curb and gutter. And I've been having, year after year, a lot of trouble with, in the wintertime, when the snow gets bladed, most of the rock ends up in my yard. I got a few pictures here from this last year. And I don't know, this is probably backwards, but I was gonna request that the city compensate me something. It cost me like, $250 to get some kids to, I can't do this stuff anymore, to rake these rocks out. There was, from along the side of my property, it's a pretty good sized piece of property. There was about like if you load 2 pickup full, backs of 2 pickups full of rock. And it's just the stuff that gets bladed off the road and into my yard where I can't cut the lawn or anything. As a matter of fact, on the east end, I've been there for 24 years, and when I first moved there, there was like a little berm about this high by the side of the road. Now it's almost 3 feet of city stuff that's been building up, and my lawnmower is, I can't, I'm having a tough time trying to cut it. And, so I don't tear up all my blades. I usually get somebody in the spring to rake the rocks out. And just this year alone, it was, I was just gonna see if I can get like a couple $100 back on this thing, because it cost me. The kids were in there 2.5 days, 2 of them. And
This is on City Boulevard, right?
that's,
That's not actually in your lawn, right? It's on Boulevard, outside of your
the
property
rocks
line?
now they've been raked out of.
Because isn't this pole that be your property line, that pole?
No.
Oh, it's not?
That's a stake that we put in. Remember about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, we put some stakes along there to try to help
Oh, is that what, okay.
to blade so that people would know kind of where the edge of the road was after it snowed.
Oh, okay,
And we ended up taking most of them out except that one.
okay.
That's still in there, looks like almost like a power pole. But that's kind of to give the idea of where. And the thing is, about this whole road down there is nobody that lives on, east would be like the, I don't know, north side, on one side.
Railroad track side.
Yeah, there is nobody, not one person lives there. All of us people that live down there are on my side of the road. And what I was at had been in, Larry probably remembers, years ago, I've been in half a dozen times, hoping that in the wintertime, when they blade the snow the other direction. Then this won't happen. Then it goes.
Does that cause us problems, any type of problems going the other direction?
Well, it actually does, first of all, you build a big ridge there, and then, you get more snow coming, and you get a bigger ridge, and bigger ridge, I mean, that's one concern. Basically, when you clean snow, you clean one side goes this way, one side goes that way, I mean, that's, for ease of cleaning, speed of cleaning. And I feel bad for your rocks, but, I mean, what are you gonna do? It's gravel, They don't try and do that, I know we've gone back and forth. There's a lot of places in town that people go, why don't you just put it on the other side of the street? Well, it really doesn't work that way cleaning snow. It's,
Well, I'm just mainly for the, our convenience for everybody that's on my side that cuts their lawn. Like I said, there's absolutely not one person that lives on the other side. And I've run maintainers, back in the old days when I was younger, and it only takes like 10 or 12 seconds to take that blade and go, and it could be bladed, whichever end you start on, it could be bladed all towards the railroad tracks and would be in the way of Nobody.
Well, until you get a big storm and then you have a bigger mess.
Yeah, but Larry, if, the same thing, if you blade it on mine and we get a big storm, then I've got.
Generally, you blade it both ways, you know, so you don't have a big ridge on one side, you just, you know, have like two smaller ridges, generally. I mean, that's what
But
you do.
it's flat enough there too, you could make like an extra pass, if you get a ridge of snow, you could make another pass and push it farther